I'm David Bennett, the director of Man of La Mancha at Arizona Theater Company. Our production is taking a little different approach to the piece. We have a company of actors and musicians on stage. They're on stage the whole evening, and there's basically an acting space in front of the playing area. So it's storytelling in its most simple form. Minimal props, minimal costumes, people using their imaginations. And support it by this wonderful language of flamenco, of music, of the Broadway musical Man of La Mancha. We get the glorious, soaring melodies of the show. We also get the rawness and virtuosity of flamenco performance. It's thrilling to watch people not only telling this story, but reinterpreting it for this audience in this theater now. I think one of the most exciting elements of our production is that the musicians are the actors. So when you come to see the show, all of the music is performed on stage by these performers. They not only act, sing, and play the instruments, they're also flamenco artists, dancers, singers, drummers, guitar players. So I think adding that element only just brings a richer depth to the whole experience, and also brings in these traditions of Spain, of Spanish culture, of Romani, Gypsy culture. And I'm encouraged that it's going to bring even more to what's already a beautiful story. I'm excited to do the show here in Arizona. Del Wasserman, who wrote the book for Man of La Mancha, made his home here with his wife for many years. So it's exciting to bring the show back to the place where he chose to live. And his wife, Martha Wasserman, has given us her blessing. And we're so happy and pleased to have that connection. Last season, I came down to see the Arizona Theater Company production of Fiddler. My friend Catherine was working on it, and I had some other friends in the show, and was just wowed by, one, the production itself, and then the talent level, and then learned later how much of that was talent from right here in Arizona. And then once we started working on Man of La Mancha, I've been reaching out to flamenco artists, different dialect coaches, different people here in the area, and it's just a trove of talent, but particularly the flamenco community, we're just finding so generous, graceful, not to mention amazingly talented and exciting people to meet and to get to know. So I'm really encouraged about doing a show here and being a part of that community. About 7, 8 years ago, I was in Madrid for a week, and I thought, oh, I have to go to a flamenco show. So I went out to one of the clubs. The shows start at 11, maybe midnight. Children, babies are there, infants in arms. I just was blown away by the raw virtuosity of it all. It's just a plywood stage in a corner, 4 people sitting on stools, sitting on drum boxes, and they're just creating and communicating with each other. It was storytelling in its most beautiful form, and it was in this other language, the language of music, and not being a musician myself, it really, there's just a mystery and a beauty to that. So since that experience, I thought, I would love to bring that into the theater more. And however those things work, the alchemy of things, over the last few years, I've started putting together this idea of, let's bring more authentic flamenco into the show. Like, how can we do that? And, putting together this production for Arizona Theater Company, I'm like, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do that here, now. It's time for it. We have to find a place for hope, and we have to find a place where we can feel active in our own lives, And that's what this show's teaching us, and the message it's delivering is, you even though it seems impossible, you can meet something. Whether you reach the goal you were setting out to reach is kind of beside the point in the end. But to show up, to be hopeful, to be optimistic, you know, is a huge thing.